Hey everyone, this is Steven from TSX.Tips. Given the shorter week, the TSX Composite Index managed to finish in the green with a return of 1.2%. The positive gains were mainly fueled by great earning reports from various companies, though the decline in Treasury Yields on Friday may have played a role too. Since my outlook on the TSX are pretty much in line with my comments from last week, let's focus on the US market instead. Friday was a great day for the markets, as multiple elements are now in favor of the investors. For one, the 10-year Treasury yields have now dampened a bit. Notice from the red circle that it's still quite far from the 20 EMA, so it wouldn't be surprising if the decline continues. Another pleasing thing to see is that the VIX have now pulled back significantly. With that said, we're now approaching a very significant support level, so it would be very encouraging if it manages to drop below it. Finally, I want to touch on the S&P 500, which closed above its 50 SMA on Friday. While that's great news at first glance, let me remind everyone that we do have some resistance ahead from the previous trading sessions, so do keep an eye out for that. Before moving on to this week's investing idea, let's go over last week's recommendation as that order has now closed. I recommended MNW last week, and what a wild ride it was. The entry price and stop loss prices were triggered on the same day after the company reported its earnings on February 22nd. Interestingly, the report actually wasn't a bad one, so I'm quite surprised to see that the stock reacted the way it did. Overall, the pick resulted in a loss of 4.07%. For this week, I'm recommending another tech stock. I realize seasonally this is not the best time for the tech sector, but it's hard to avoid them simply because they have been outperforming the market by a huge margin. Why buy the laggers when you can pick the leaders, right? Anyway, BlackBerry is my pick for this week. I realize investors tend to get nervous when this stock is mentioned, but for traders, I think this stock is very attractive. From its mid-January high, the stock tumbled 18% in 19 trading sessions. Since then, the stock had been making higher highs. In fact, BlackBerry closed above its 20 EMA on Friday. I also love that it's in a nice uptrend as shown by the blue dotted line. That should act as a nice padding if the stock decides to pull back. Finally, the BB.TO's bullish crossover confirms the buy in my opinion. If you want to learn more about the stock, don't forget to check out my blog post, linked down in the description below. Before I conclude this video, let me remind everyone to consult a professional financial advisor before making any financial investments. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next week.